Good morning, everyone. It's Tasha Belix here with Tasha Talks to Teens, and behind me you will see some very beautiful prayer flags, and I'll just give you an idea of kind of what these sort of look like. There's lots of them behind me here. Can I do it? Yay! I did it. And today I was hoping to tell people a little bit about the tradition of prayer flags. Sometimes people like to call them spirit flags. And also maybe it's a place where we get to create something really beautiful together. And I'm going to start with a little story. So I was introduced to prayer flags and the concept of them about 10 years ago from a fantastic expressive arts therapist, Carmen Richardson. And she told us the tradition that has been practiced in Tibet for centuries with creating prayer flags. And so it would be a prayer that's written on a piece of material, and the idea is that Lang Ta, or a wind horse, would take the messages of world peace and compassion and carry it on the wind to all beings. And I thought it was such a beautiful, it is such a beautiful tradition, and for many, many years with different groups of youth at schools and with young people that were homeless and different places that I've worked, we've created prayer flags to invite beauty and compassion and kind words to anyone that crosses the threshold or comes into the space. And so I can think back to doing this at the Alex Youth Health Center when we were on Center Street. So it's since then changed locations 2 times, but as the space was getting, we were getting ready to move into a new space, there was, I brought materials to make prayer flags with youth. And so the Alex is a really, really neat health concept where it's sort of a one-stop shop. So a young person could come in there and be deemed a mature minor, so you can advocate for your own health needs, and you could see a psychologist or a counselor or a youth worker, a doctor, a nurse. You could talk to someone about housing or get your ID. You could just have a healthy meal and grab some condoms if you wanted to. And so youth were coming from all different spaces, many young people that had formerly been in foster care and then found themselves homeless and then would find themselves at the Alex Youth Health Center. And there was one particular youth that I asked and invited him to make a prayer flag with us, knowing that it would go into the new space. And the idea was, well, when other young people come into the space, what do you want him or her, them to know about what it's like coming into the Youth Health Center? And he actually asked me to spell a word. And he said, I'm not a very good speller, but can you help me with this? And it was just so incredibly touching. He wrote a prayer flag, and he wrote the words, in diagonal, love. And I think for him, he said the space had been, gave him a sense of feeling like he was coming home, and a sense of feeling that he was really loved for who he was by everyone that worked in the space. And it was such quite a cool honor to witness that in action, but also to see a very, tough young man do something that was so just so kind and just so loving. And so the prayer flags, we finished them up at that space, and then they went to the new space where they invited that same kind of spirit and sentiment into the world. And then now they're at a big, beautiful new center, and the prayer flags are still there. And after the COVID-19 comes to a close and things get back to normal, I sure hope that I can go back to the Alex to maybe create a new set of prayer flags to, again, add some compassion and some kind words and sentiments to more youth that end up finding themselves in that space, so that they know it really is a place where they're respected and loved. And if home doesn't always feel great, that this would feel like a nice space. I can see actually an old youth that I worked with, you're not old, Teresa, don't worry, is logged on and she's listening to this. And so very much as I'm doing these Facebook Lives, I have many people that I'm kind of holding in my heart as I think about what I need to offer and what's going to be the most beneficial. And for so many people, going to a space like the Alex, or going to their school counselor or a teacher that they really like, or their place of worship, without being able to access those supports, there could be a real deep loneliness, and also an increase in some of the feelings of anxiety and depression that might have already been there. And so my hope really is that these Facebook Lives will really be an extension of support, and a place where people feel, I hope, like they belong and they're really heard. Even though I'm talking to a screen, know that I'm keeping many people's stories and who they are in my hearts as I'm creating this stuff. And so prayer flags, or spirit flags, have 5 colors typically, and you might have seen them hanging outside of monasteries or sometimes over door frames of people's homes. If you've ever had the chance to travel to Tibet, you may see them hanging in mountain ranges or on trees, and often they're put up in a place where it's windy, so the wind can catch the prayers and send them around. And so I just wanted people to know kind of what the different colors symbolize. So traditionally, there are 5 colors, and the blue symbolizes sky and peace. White symbolizes air and wind. Red symbolizes fire. Green symbolizes water. And the yellow symbolizes the earth. And without feeling like we're taking a tradition that is maybe not ours to teach and practice, the intention is to create on a napkin, on a piece of paper. If you have an old t-shirt that's white, cut it up into some squares, and create your own collection of spirit flags. I'm just looking for a few that I had at the ready, here on the floor, to give you an idea of what they can look like. And so last night, one of my kids and I made some. And so again, this is going to be backwards for you, but we are one big family. Maybe one of those intentions and kind messages that we would love everyone on the planet, the birds and the mice and the horses and everything else, to know that this is what we're sending. And then I did one too that's just a loving kindness meditation. So may you be free from this suffering. May you have joy, and may you have happiness. And it could be anything. It could be a quote from your favorite poet. It could be a picture of a tattoo that you want to get put on your body at some point. It could be the words that someone offered to you at some point in your life that really helped you manage a tough situation. And it might be as simple as, we're going to get through this. Humans are hardwired for struggle, and this is something that we're going to get through. Or we need to reach out and take care of each other as a way of managing what's going on. Maybe it might be a message of breathe, lots of different things. And so that's the invitation, to create a prayer flag. And if you ever find your way to my office one day and you have some prayer flags you want to give us, we will happily sort of display them somewhere in the space and create a really beautiful piece of art that's a collaborative piece. But I really invite you, if you've made something, if you make a spirit flag, find a tree that catches the wind or put it up by your window, knowing that those beautiful words not only will help to soothe your system, but we want to send them out to help lots of other people. I know many people are grieving right now, and many people are feeling very anxious and uncertain about what's going to happen next. So do something that takes some of that, the beauty that's within us and angst and energy, and put it into something that's creative and something that is really beautiful and can help the world. There were a couple of prayer flags that I wanted to read out loud because I thought they were so neat. So these ones were done many, many years ago by a group of brownies that I was working with. And kindness sends ripples. I thought this one was really sweet. I wish that I had a horse so I could ride across the prairie and be wild and feel the wind. And for whomever wrote that flag, I sure hope that comes true. Joe, I see that you're watching today too, so maybe a little bit of loving kindness comes your way. And for everyone that's out here, please send me some feedback. I would love to see pictures of the beautiful things that you create, and know that this week I'm going to be focusing a little bit around trauma. And I think this is a space where the world as a collective is kind of going through a bit of a dark cloud with COVID-19. So know that over the next few days, I'm going to really be honing in on that topic and offering not therapy, but some grounding skills to be able to manage, because we know if we move big feelings through a body that it's going to really help mitigate some of the possible after effects of COVID-19 in terms of escalated anxiety in our population. So until next time, remember to breathe and be well.